The Book of Daniel stands as a cornerstone in biblical prophecy, particularly within the conservative dispensational framework. This book, written during the Jewish exile in Babylon, contains visions and prophecies that outline the course of history and foretell significant future events, including those relating to the end times. The conservative dispensational belief system, which emphasizes a literal interpretation of the Bible, views these prophecies as blueprints for understanding the future unfolding of global events, particularly those concerning Israel. Daniel's prophecies are particularly revered for their detailed predictions and their pivotal role in eschatological doctrine. Teachings concerning the last things, such as the end of the world, the judgment of all souls, and the ultimate destiny of humanity. The book is divided into two parts: the historical narrative of the Jewish people under Babylonian and Persian rule, and the prophetic visions received by Daniel. These visions are rich with symbolism and apocalyptic imagery, which have been subject to various interpretations over the centuries. One of the central themes in the Book of Daniel is the prophecy concerning the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. This event is seen as a necessary precursor to the commencement of the tribulation period, a time of great turmoil and suffering foretold to occur before the final judgment. Conservative dispensationalists assert that understanding these prophecies is crucial, not only for comprehending biblical history, but also for preparing for future events that will impact the entire globe. The relevance of Daniel's visions extends beyond ancient texts to touch upon contemporary issues. The ongoing political, social, and religious developments in Israel are often scrutinized through the lens of these ancient prophecies. This connection between the biblical past and the present is what makes the study of Daniel particularly compelling and significant in today's world. The necessity of the temple's reconstruction in Jerusalem before the tribulation can commence is a well-established belief in conservative dispensational theology. Key scriptures from Daniel, as well as other prophetic books of the Bible, underscore this point. Daniel 9:27 speaks of a prince who will make a covenant with many for 1:7, in the middle of which he will put an end to sacrifice and offering. This has been interpreted to mean that a temple where sacrifices are performed must exist, thus necessitating its prior reconstruction. Further reference to the temple is found in 2 Thessalonians 2:4, where Paul speaks of the man of lawlessness who opposes and exalts himself above every so-called god or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God. This passage is often linked with Daniel's prophecy, reinforcing the idea that the temple must be physically present for these events to unfold. Ezekiel chapters 40 to 48 provide an even more detailed description of a future temple, complete with measurements and the specific regulations for its services. These chapters, rich with ceremonial detail, are viewed by many as a blueprint for the temple that will be constructed in the end times, further emphasizing the literal interpretation favored by dispensationalists. The consistent scriptural emphasis on a physical temple in these prophetic books has led to a heightened interest and focus among believers and scholars on signs of its impending reconstruction. This scriptural basis forms a critical underpinning for the actions and expectations of many who closely follow developments in Israel and its religious landscape. In recent years, there have been observable preparations in Israel that align with the prophecies regarding the rebuilding of the temple. Organizations such as the Temple Institute have been actively involved in creating detailed plans and even reconstructing artifacts that are necessary for a new temple, according to the descriptions found in scriptures. These artifacts include priestly garments, vessels for temple service, and even an altar designed for sacrificial rituals. Moreover, training programs for priests who could potentially serve in a new temple are in place. These programs teach the intricate laws and procedures detailed in the Torah, necessary for conducting services and sacrifices according to ancient traditions. Such preparations are not merely symbolic. They represent a tangible step towards the realization of prophetic visions. Architectural plans for the temple have also been drawn up, taking into account both ancient scriptural directives and modern building technology. These plans are often discussed in the context of political and religious debates about the Temple Mount, a site currently significant to both Judaism and Islam. The complexities involved in this project are immense, given the sensitive nature of the location and the political tensions surrounding it. These developments are followed closely by those who view them as signs of the times, a fulfillment of prophecies that indicate the nearness of the tribulation period. For many believers and scholars, these preparations in Israel serve as a contemporary confirmation of the scriptural predictions, making the ancient text profoundly relevant in today's geopolitical climate. The book of Daniel, along with other prophetic texts, warns of significant global opposition against Israel in the end times. Daniel 11:44, for example, talks about tidings from the east and the north that shall trouble the king of the north, leading to great conflicts. This has been interpreted as foretelling an international conflict centered around Israel, involving multiple nations.